ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai Ultra Kaiju series original release Jirahs or Jirus. Released in 1995 and re-released in 1998, the Bandai Ultra Kaiju series Jirus is a bit of a pain in the arse to find for a decent enough price, whether it's tagged or not. While both versions of this figure are roughly the same, one of the releases, namely the 1998 mint green version, came without a tag in a box set called the Ultra Battle Zone set, which featured the greener Jirus and an Ultraman figure. And it's really cool looking, honestly. I wish Bandai still did figure box sets like these. And just as a little bonus, for those who don't know, Jirus first appeared in the original Ultraman series. Specifically, Episode 10, The Mysterious Dinosaur Base. And as another little bonus, Jirus is known as a ruffed dinosaur. Ruffled? Frilled? I don't know dinosaurian science, so if anybody can make sense of that, please let me know. But the likelihood of this being some random ultra jargon that doesn't have any basis in the real world, that's it. When it comes to paint, Jirdong over here really doesn't have too much going on. It's more so of just what is going on is really shiny and very nice looking on the right amount of detail. Loving the metallic paint on the frill, and even on the top and side of the head over here. Unfortunately though, the opposite side kinda got schmutzed with some gold on the mouth and on the teeth, and it kinda looks like Jirus is rocking some grills. But for the most part, it kinda just looks messy and a little meh. The eyes are painted on pretty perfectly. As you can see here, those deep, dark, kinda like a doe's eyes are nice and sculpted in. Something that I honestly wasn't expecting. And despite the massive mustardy gold schmutz on the mouth over here, the teeth, even the friggin' tongue, are all very nicely painted and detailed. Yes, they're not all perfect, but what is perfect is seriously just the tongue. Look at the way that it shines. It's glistening, and the inside of the mouth looks like there's multiple tones of red going on in there, but it's more so that the little spray nozzle didn't really get the entirety of the inside of the mouth, but it's just one of those happy accidents where it still kind of just looks cool. Jirus also features more of that metallic paint on the titties and the Jirassi, and you're going to get even more of that magnificence on the dorsal fins, the back, and the tail. Personally, I'm a pretty big fan of this color palette that Bandai had going on here. I was surprised, however, upon looking at this figure again for the first time under some really good lighting, that the dorsal fins on the outside row were only painted on one side. It's amazing, a lot of my complaining points on Bandai figures are things they've been doing since the 90s. It's almost like I don't know what I'm talking about. Regardless of that, the dorsal fins look awesome. I do so, however, wish that the bright gold paint over here kind of followed throughout the entirety of the tail and most of the back, but seeing as how it's only in this little splooch and isn't really featured anywhere else, I guess this was a mistake. Kind of. A happy mistake, to say the least, and the tail looks pretty cool. A little banged up, bought it secondhand. And this is probably a mistake, but I like how that gold paint really just sets on the skin. I don't know, it almost looks mystical in some way. And as you can see over here in the corner of Jirus' mouth, there's actually some pinkish red paint over there as well. Bandai was clearly having quite the messy day when they painted this umbrella-necked freak up. Jirahs over here is going to get a solid star in terms of paint. Despite my minor issues here and there with the mouth and even on the back, I still gotta say this is a nice paint job. It's eye-catching, and the attention to paint on the frill over here I just love. As if a Godzilla with a frill attached to his neck isn't eye-catching enough, the gold is just going to do it in for people. Detail time. Bandai forever with the detail game. I am always impressed when I look at this figure. I mean, the detail on Jirus' head alone is awesome. I'm especially a big fan of all the detail on the frill over here. You know, they could have just put a plate on top of its neck and it probably would have sold just well, but I love all the little lines and the grooves, and I love that these parts of the frill are nice and pronounced in certain areas. It just looks good, and the paint job makes it look better. Legs are very nicely detailed with those squished meatball looking kneecaps, and this squishier and shinier vinyl that Bandai used used for this figure in particular really does help shout those details very, very loudly. Do I wish Jirus got the nails did? Absolutely, but the detail completely washes that away. This looks so good. I mean, look at his hand. Look at his hand. There's wrinkles in there. That looks awesome. Again, this very squishy and shiny vinyl really does this figure a lot of justice under the right light. Now, the skin is essentially going to be the same all across the figure, just with some unintentional paint thrown on it and such. Not really a detail's detail, but I do like how the tail goes down, comes up, and then goes down again. It's nice to see some variation with a Godzilla tail. I mean, Jirus or Jirass or Jurassic World Dominion. Was that any good? Anybody see it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Oh yeah, maybe subscribe too. That would be cool. I'd enjoy that. And maybe you'll enjoy my content. Moving on. Even though they look like a spicy mustard encrusted potato chip, I do really love the details on the dorsal fins over here. Fairly standard, rather basic looking, yes, but still just cool looking. Yeah, I really have a hard time hating this figure, even with its minor paint flaws. Oh wait, can't forget to talk about the details on the chest and crotchal areas over here. Very, very well done. Love how the gold paint looks on it. Very nice. Another little Jirus fact for all of you out there who don't know, but the Jirus suit was comprised of the Daisenso Goji head and the Mosu Goji body. And obviously the stupid frill. I don't know, man. You really don't look Eiji Tsuburaya in the eye and say, no, you can't use that. You just don't. You couldn't. I mean, he's Tsuburaya. You don't do that. He tells you if you can do that. Even if he's asking you if he can do something. That's all there is to it. Bitch. I think Jirahs, Jirus, Jaws, whatever, is entirely deserving of another solid star for detail. Now let's take a look at articulation. All the way around at the head. This is honestly a little haunting looking. Kind of reminds me of my sleep paralysis demon, only it doesn't have titties. The arms can go all the way around, if a little begrudgingly, on both sides. Yes. And the legs can go all the way around as well. With, I'm sure, movement at the tail if you broke the glue seal. I'm choosing not to, simply because, yet again, squishy shiny vinyl. You hear that, actually? My god, that is hilarious. And I don't know if I'd want this tail falling off as easily as it probably would with such a light and squishy vinyl. All for some articulation? Nah, I'm good. So for any of those who weren't paying attention or just don't know how to count, no judgment, that is 3 solid stars for the Bandai Ultra Kaiju series Jirahs. Jirus. Jehovah's Witness. And now we can move on to size comparisons, and then I'll see you back here in like a couple seconds. Size comparison time. Small, medium, large, related. A fun little grail for any Godzilla fan to add to their collection for sure. It's a shame the old boy hasn't seen a major re-release since 1998 for, I'm sure, very obvious reasons. It'd be nice to see him back in the movie monster series with a brand spanking new tag and such, but even the hopes for that seem pretty without grounds. But who knows? Shin Gomez exists after all. Who's to say Shin Jirus won't be a thing? The 95 and 98 Jirus figures might teeter on the more expensive side. I have seen some sell for very, very tiny prices, much like mine. I got this for like 35-40 bucks. You just need to keep your eye out, and keep your eye on Mandarake, because I see they get these ever so often. Not often enough, but often-ish. It's a hard figure to find sometimes, man, and when you do find them, sometimes it's like a couple $100, and it's like, no! Anyway, I do so hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, and all that other good stuff. Is favoriting even much of a thing anymore? We don't even have stars over there anymore, huh? I have been ShinRobjira, and if I don't get screwed over by a shipping notification, I will see you all on Monday. What a shitty way to flesh out Samus.